All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dark Season 1, Episode 7.
Well,
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So many...
People are awful.
People are really awful.
People are awful.
Just really awful. We had something clarified that I think we got to in the discussion, but yes, that is a good thing to bring back up. The whole tying Regina to the tree, that was not retribution in any way. That was just Ulrich and
Francisco.
damn it, being awful. That was just them being awful, and which makes sense then why he didn't apologize, because
Katerina,
Katerina, that's just something that was when we were kids. That was no big deal, right? You know? Yeah.
And that's why he didn't look too much.
Because one of the things I was wondering is like, okay, he gets falsely accused of, this terrible crime. Why didn't he look at the police records to be like, what happened? Because he had already been terrible to her. So that's a pretty open shut case. Why she would do something like that, right?
Yeah. Motive is established. So
exactly.
It's just the ways in which at that point, Hannah particularly maneuvered this in such a way that it was like the perfect crime.
Yeah.
And wow.
But now you're found out.
Yeah, now you're found out.
And
you're, oh my God.
She is a twisted individual. It's one of those things where the stuff that she's doing, if we weren't already having all this creepy stuff happen in the show, that would be like the creepypasta, oh my God, what is that? Why would, you find out someone does that and you're like, get far away from them. But no, in this show, there's
so much creepy
stuff.
There's
people dying and stuff already.
There's a time-traveling priest who's potentially like trying
to come into my car, child.
Recruit young boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, thank you.
Oh no.
And then on top of that, there's the whole thing of like, oh hey, two characters that didn't really interact much. Meeting in a bunker with a bunch of dates in a journal while crazy stuff is happening. And it's like, okay,
we had established that they were going to the same place, but now the fact that they're going at the same time, they're seeing each other.
And again, this is something that he refused to tell his wife when she specifically confronts him about it and is like, hey, I just please give me something, right?
God, there's so much this show is setting up. But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Okay.
Each episode is like a treasure box, and we get to open it.
Oh, no.
Well. Hello.
Oh, those are old clothes.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So this is a little,
teaser of 53?
Yeah.
That is grody.
Okay.
All right.
So when he got yoinked, and potentially time shenanigans. Whoa, wait, you do?
Okay. So Doppler, okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the people that we had clocked as potentially a time traveler, but...
Oh, yeah, he definitely was, because he had his brain all messed up, which means he's having trouble, grappling with, multiple, points in time that he's...
But now this is making me wonder what if it wasn't actually that he was sent through time, but he was just experimented on, because...
Possibly.
We found out who Mads was, and so there isn't another missing kid that would have gotten sent back in time.
No.
So maybe it's just that he's actually from that time, but, adopt a kid and experiment on them kind of thing.
The part that's scary is that if he was taken as a kid, he doesn't have much time lived in, whatever time and place that he is. So,
sure.
Who's to say, people just didn't think that he died,
Sure.
Crossroads. Cool.
Okay.
So people are making big decisions here.
All right.
Hey! I love that with a shot, they can be like, this is what time we're in right now. Wow. Oh, crazy. Bro, this town, the writing is on the walls.
Yeah, wait.
Like that was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Bro, this goes deep, man. This goes so deep. Forget like 19, like 50. What would that be? 53.
53. Well, I think 50.
We're going to like 1919 or like.
Well, 53 I think could still work with it because then it's just.
No, totally. But I'm just throwing it out there right now. Like we're going.
It's a kind of influence that is. Like it's so indirect, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just there for us, you know. All right, Jonas, start your journey.
Yeah.
Was machst denn du?
I need to talk to you about that kid's body.
Ja, wenn ihr nicht rausfindet, wer das ist, wird er eingeäschert und bekommt ein anonymes Grab.
Wie lange ist er schon tot?
Das steht doch alles in meinem Bericht. Als ihr ihn gefunden habt, 10 Stunden plus minus.
Ist es möglich, dass
Did he die 33 years ago?
rein theoretisch, dass er schon länger tot ist? Und nach seinem Tod irgendwie konserviert.
Yeah, somehow preserved. That's a good way to kind of rationalize it in your head.
Spuren im Gewebe geben, das hätte ich ja gesehen. Gefrorenes Steak sieht ja auch nicht aus wie ein frisches.
Also
Yeah.
Nee, nicht, dass ich wüsste.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
this is
how?
gonna sound crazy.
Was wir denn?
33 Jahre.
33 Jahre.
Yeah, no way.
Unmöglich.
Oh. Bro would be just tripping right now. Look at this Elvis wannabe over here. Yeah.
Right. But he's at least able to adjust.
Well, he knows what's going on.
Right.
Welcher Tag ist heute?
9. November.
Ich weiß, es klingt bescheuert. Aber welches Jahr denn?
86.
Oh. Okay.
Warte. Suchst du jemanden?
Michael Kahnwald.
Kenn ich nicht.
Yeah.
Ines Kahnwalds Sohn?
Die Krankenschwester? Die hat keine Kinder.
Nice.
Oh, right, because if they could meet up back here.
Yeah.
Im Krankenhaus vielleicht.
Okay, okay, I like this.
Whoa.
Regina, die scheiß Brillenstange.
Regina, you're like, whoa.
Yep.
Hier sind nicht mehr die 50er. Wir ermitteln nicht aufgrund von Gefühlen, sondern von Indizien. Du hast noch 3 Monate Zeit bis zu deiner Pensionierung. Dann kannst du machen, was du willst. Und so lange machst du, was ich will.
This isn't the 1950s. Right, yeah, we're not there yet.
Cool.
Oh yeah, this would be such a... This would mess with your head so hard.
Speaking of hunches, right? Mm-hmm. But you've also got evidence, kind
Right,
of.
you do. Yeah.
Ich sage ja auch nur, dass gestern der Boden vibriert hat. Ich weiß, dass das hier kein Erdbebengebiet ist, trotzdem hat er vibriert.
Untersuchungsbefehl für das AKW, wir haben ihn.
Ich muss...
Hey, okay.
Okay.
We're moving. We're grooving.
All right.
Soll ich Ulrich schon Bescheid geben?
No. I'll go myself.
Nee, muss ja auch keiner mit mir reden.
Probably done a whole cleanup job. Oh, nice.
Nice, yeah.
Kann ich irgendwie helfen?
Oh yeah, and all that
Es geht den vermissten.
scar tissue on the side of his face.
Yeah, Dang.
Rundgang und Blockkontrolle. Okay. Wir können Termin machen und du kommst in die Wache.
Oh, that's guilt on Helga's face.
Straße runter. Wolltest du nur vorhin? Weil du die Landstraße genommen hast. Ist der Waldweg nicht kürzer?
Ich habe noch was besorgt für meinen Vater.
Bringing up father.
Yeah. All right, that's a decent amount to have told him before you go to get your story straight.
Tag irgendwo den Bruder gesehen. Den älteren Nielsen-Jungen, Ulrich.
I feel like Helga just told the truth in literally like every single thing that he said.
Right.
Except that his face was like, try to lie.
Yeah. He just didn't do a good job of it or something.
Well, no, his face was showing guilt, like.
Nice, so he does have the written record.
Befragung Helge Doppler, warum nicht Waldweg?
That's also kind of crazy that you're needing to rely on the notes of the asshole basically that harassed you your entire like childhood or teen years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guards with machine guns.
Yeah, that's
in front of the cops.
Uh-huh.
I'm so glad she came with like a small like army squad,
right,
basically
exactly.
of her own cops and everything.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna show up by herself when the one car pulled. I'm like, all right, no, we're in the 80s. We're in the 80s now. Look. Oh my God, things are moving.
This road. Okay, who's in the car?
Well, that's gonna be him. That's gonna be Egon.
Oh, right. Need a ride?
Diese Zeit nicht in der Schule sein.
Ich bin krankgeschrieben.
Du siehst in meinen Augen aber ganz fit.
Yeah, walking around in the pouring rain.
Gerade auf dem Weg zum Krankenhaus.
I can give you a ride.
Steig ein. Ich fahr dich.
Yeah. Perfect. This is fun though because now Ulrich is needing to use Egon's notes, the guy that he called a blundering, like useless policeman, and he's relying so desperately on anything that he might have actually like. Oh. So I didn't catch that. Was the statement removed?
Nochmal durchgegangen. Helge sollte zur Befragung. Dienstag, 11. November 1986. Also übermorgen vor genau 33 Jahren. Aber es gibt gar keine Aussage. Er ist überhaupt nicht...
Whoa!
Da in etwas.
Vielleicht. Vielleicht auch nicht.
Yeah. Because how do you possibly tell someone, yeah, this is my brother's body, but he went missing over 30 years ago?
Uh-huh. Wait.
Oh, is this gonna lead to the... Oh, shoot.
Wie heißt du denn?
Yeah, is that gonna lead to the cabin?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Und warum lässt du dich nicht von deinen Eltern fahren?
I don't have any parents. Just...
Wo arbeitet deine Mutter?
Kernkraftwerk.
Nice.
Was ist denn das da?
Careful, dude!
Kopfhörer.
Careful, dude! That's
Doch keine Kopfhörer.
But this is him testing that, like, it really is, like, a different time, you know?
Dinge gibt's.
Nice.
And he's just like, oh, the kids and their newfangled, gadgets and gizmos.
Whereas if you showed that to a kid, they'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Forest road that probably hasn't been used in a very long time. Normally, it's been used for a very long time.
Whoa.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, dang.
Is this where the power plant people were loading things in the truck and taking stuff out?
Yeah, they were potentially digging.
Yeah.
Because they had a whole bunch of that gunk that, Oh, it's this spot. Okay. That's where, what's her name was brought when they were talking about the
previous boss?
There's what we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
Warte. Unter euch Teenagern ist da gerade Satanismus ein Ding?
Keine Ahnung. Nee, ich weiß nicht. Glaub nicht.
Ruf deine Mutter an, dass sie dich abholt.
The way he laughed.
Danke.
I'm freaking out if, like, he's gonna be on, like, the bench out here, like, talking to Hannah and stuff, like.
But this is gonna be this is how he can truly confirm it, is if he finds Miko.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, there were a ton of barrels. I can't. Just the dark cave and the person by themselves in there with a single flashlight.
Right.
Oh.
No way.
Is that where Mikhail fell?
Oh, no, don't touch that. That's...
No, it's one of the barrels it scraped.
Yeah.
Probably
it's waste. Yeah.
Or paint from the side of them.
Oh, it could be paint. Yeah, it could be chipped paint, yeah.
Oh. They know how to do the spooks in this show.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say.
The tension is too real.
Yeah.
Seid ihr verwandt?
Ja, kann man so sagen.
Vielleicht ist sie ja noch hinten. Ansonsten, wenn ich sie sehe, sage ich ihr Bescheid.
Nein, schon in Ordnung. Machen Sie sich keine Umstände.
Already getting the sus vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you gonna find? Man, I'm so terrified she's gonna go back to her line and it's just been dropped in the hole.
Well.
Oh boy.
That's fun. Who's the one exploring a hunch now?
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's conveniently remembering everything, apparently.
Oh.
So he might be able to confess, basically.
Ich bin Polizist. Keine Angst, ich will Ihnen ein paar Fragen stellen. 1986 ist im Winter ein Junge verschwunden. Mats Nielsen.
Oh, no.
Vorgeladen, aber es ist nirgendwo im Protokoll zu finden. Was bedeutet, warum nicht Waldweg? Was bedeutet, warum nicht Waldweg?
Oh no!
Ich bin Polizist, ich will nur ein paar Fragen stellen.
Ich kenne Sie.
Was?
Oh.
Was haben Sie gerade gesagt?
Wait! I know you. Wait!
Ich kann das ändern. Ich kann die Vergangenheit ändern. Und die Zukunft.
Was hast du gesagt?
Oh my God!
Wow!
Wo ist Mickel? Lass mich los!
I hope he doesn't like have a heart attack and die or something.
Ich kann die Vergangenheit ändern. Und die Zukunft.
Oh God.
Ich hab doch noch einen gefunden.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Wie wenig wir doch von der Welt verstehen.
Oh! Like, don't do it. Like, don't do it. Like, he's here to be like,
yeah.
Mir fällt es uns schwer, Dinge zu begreifen, die gegen alles sprechen, wozu unser Verstand konditioniert wurde. Wie müssen die Menschen sich gefühlt haben, als man ihnen zum ersten Mal sagte, die Erde...
Right.
Sure, yeah.
Ulrich mein Großvater ist und...
Martha, deine Tante.
Oh.
Dein Vater lernt deine Mutter nicht kennen. Sie verlieben sich nicht. Sie heiraten nicht. Und du?
Yeah.
Du wirst nicht geboren.
Right.
Bringst du ihn jetzt zurück, dann löschst du deine eigene Existenz aus. Deine Rolle in all dem hier ist viel größer, als du denkst.
Much bigger. Oh.
Aber jede Entscheidung für etwas ist doch immer eine Entscheidung gegen etwas.
Dang. This might be a red herring, but they could even be setting up that Helga is like Jonas at the end, you know?
Wofür wirst du dich entscheiden?
Part of me that was wondering that.
Yeah. I feel like it's a red herring, but...
No, because it showed him in the past as a kid.
No, yeah.
Injury.
But the idea of like, maybe that's the point, is that there are many people like Jonas.
Right.
Who
Who's to say why does someone need to have only been in the one timeline?
Right.
They could theoretically go through one timeline and then go through another timeline.
And then go back to it, you know?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Be in the same place 3 different times.
Bin ich verrückt. Oh. Der tote Junge. Den wir im Wald gefunden haben.
Yeah.
Irgendwie hat Helge mit all dem zu tun.
Oh, he's not saying that it's mad.
Dafür verantwortlich, dass 3 Kinder verschwunden sind. Wie soll er das körperlich schaffen?
Vielleicht ist er nicht allein.
Geh nach Hause.
Yeah. I love the way she has like cop eyes, where she like sensing for like truth and lie, you know?
Right.
Warum nicht Waldweg?
She's like, I was just down the forest road.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay. Helga. Oh. Wait, we found one of these in 2019, the rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, so...
Wait.
So, okay. So Helga was clearly experimented on, so he's...
Is Helga of the past going and...
Wichtig ist nur, dass du weißt, dass Ulrich dir im Moment nichts tun kann. Und dass für das bestraft wird, was dir angetan hat.
Ulrich hat nichts gemacht. Wenn, dann habe ich ihn dazu gedrängt. Ich habe ihm gesagt, er soll Kondome besorgen.
Yeah, get specific.
Right.
Yeah, you can't, like, at that point, then
yeah, you could probably check and find out, like, clarify that he did, in fact, get condoms.
Right.
You know.
Someone who'd want to...
Like, where'd you get them, you know?
Someone who'd want to assault somebody wouldn't go and do that.
Ich bin jetzt da.
Das bist du schon lange nicht mehr.
Wie meinst du das?
Are you really gonna make me say it?
Yeah.
Seit ich dich kenne, wolltest du raus aus Winden. Bist du eigentlich jemals glücklich gewesen?
Right, not even talking about the cheating, because she knows, so it's more trying to get at the
why.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
underlying stuff.
Und du?
Hat sie dir das gesagt?
Ist das jetzt wichtig?
Well, if that's out, then there's something I need to tell you.
Hab's nur nicht sehen wollen.
It's not exactly going to change anything, even if you did tell her.
No.
Okay.
Man, my brain is whirring, man. My brain is whirring. Like, we've got some serious relationship drama, but we've got, like, crazy stuff worrying about it. No, you can't!
Yeah, and it's the, oh, I'm seeing my parents. That, oh. Like, just to bring the point home.
Yeah.
In case it wasn't clear. All right.
I'm glad he wasn't like 5 years younger or what have you. This would have been way worse.
Immer an der Hoffnung festgehalten, dass lebt. Dein Vater wollte das Grab. Er dachte, das würde mir helfen, abzuschließen. Aber darin liegt kein Grab. Seit 33 Jahren stelle ich mir vor, dass lebt.
Don't want to lose that now.
Aha.
Niemals aufhören zu hoffen. Da draußen ist genauso viel Licht wie dunkel.
Come on. Yeah.
Vergiss das nicht.
It's gonna be really hard to hold on to that light and hope, though.
Eine Woche bevor Mats.
Aha.
Ich habe das damals nicht der Polizei erzählt. Ich habe mich gar nicht...
Here we go.
Okay.
Ich habe etwas beobachtet. Vor dem Haus gegenüber hat sich ein Pfarrer mit einem Mann gestritten, ich weiß nicht über was. Aber ich fand das eigenartig, dass sich ein Pfarrer so streitet. Und heute früh habe ich denselben Mann gesehen.
Oh! No way!
Nein, nicht den Pfarrer.
No, okay.
Den anderen. Es war derselbe Mann. Ich weiß das, weil er etwas am Ohr hatte. Das war...
A scar? Is Helga from the 80s was sent here.
Er sah genauso aus wie vor 33 Jahren.
He was sent here
so
to avoid the interview.
Aber derselbe Mann.
So he's the other mysterious figure that we've seen?
Well, he's the one that's kidnapping. Is young Helga. Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! This is so messed up.
Okay.
Because he's the son of the head of the plant at that time.
Right, and so he was experimented on before.
But then basically,
he has the scars.
He's a pet that the dad is keeping close.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Or like an attack dog.
Or something,
you know, retrieval dog.
Du wolltest doch wissen, ob das Höhlensystem auch unter dem Waldweg verläuft, in der Nähe eurer Hütte.
Oh, let's go. We got a map.
Welle laufen unter dem südlichen Waldweg entlang.
Nice.
Was ist denn mit der Hütte? Ist da was Bestimmtes?
Nein, nichts. Danke.
I'm getting it now.
Okay.
The cabin is a constant. It's a point in time that people aren't going to be there. So you can always go there if you're a time traveler at specific points and like make meets and drops and things. So if you put something there in the past or what have you, you could... And then you know it's there. You can have someone go to that point like later, but it can only be like, it'd be like an hour later or what have you. Oh.
Charlotte?
Wusstest du, dass dein Vater 86 bei der Polizei vorgeladen war?
Nein, das...
What? 86?
Die Hütte am Waldweg. Warum hat Helge die überhaupt behalten, nach allem, was ihm da passiert ist?
Oh, that happened to him there.
Hab ich seit Tagen nur zwischen Tür und Angel gesehen. Die machen sich Sorgen. Ich mir auch.
Irgendwas los.
Charlotte?
Oh. Dude.
Bro doesn't seem like a bad guy.
No, I know.
But he's lying.
Yeah.
Die Frage ist nicht wie, die Frage ist wann.
No way. Cut through the forest road.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, now we get a cop's kind of eyes on this.
Oh, okay, and right, so he's gonna try and go back. Oh, no way. So it doesn't necessarily need to be at a specific time.
No, but the key is the 33 years, so it's just simply
a set
passage.
travel time.
It's a
but
right, a set amount of time traveled, but it is a oh yeah. Oh, he's moving.
And that's when he gets...
Because he knows somebody's moving right now.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's wallpaper from the room where the kids are getting experimented on.
Yeah. Okay. That looks like it's present time.
Yeah. Bro, you gotta turn off that light. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Making me nervous.
Okay.
And we're still not done with the episode. Oh my god.
If he's back in the present, that's actually crazy because that's the first confirmed instance of someone going forward in time.
Yes, yeah. Okay, you can travel into the future.
Okay.
Now, it might be that you can bounce back to your point that you came from. Like, it might be limited in that regard, but it might not be.
I think it's going to be based on which direction you go when it forks.
Yes, I think that's exactly it too, but...
Vielleicht ist es mein Schicksal, verlassen zu werden. Ich glaube, Papa hat dich sehr geliebt.
Oh, I mean, she's an awful person, but
absolutely awful person.
But yeah, you know, human beings have hearts, you know.
She's still his mom.
Yeah,
he doesn't know
still
that
his mom.
stuff.
Yeah. Now it's all starting to click in, isn't it? Oh,
he burns
wow. Yeah, now it's already been delivered and everything, so
yeah,
doesn't matter. But sneaking around a little bit.
It's a great way to get yourself worse than suspended.
He's gone though.
Yeah.
What the
boy.
hell? Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Very fun.
What's bookmarked?
Yeah. What's the chapter called? Oh, is there something there? Fun. Yep. Follow him.
Yep. Crawling through there isn't going to be good on those old knees, though.
No, I think he's just going to the cave to see if he can find who, you know.
Die Frage ist nicht, wer die Kinder entführt hat, sondern wann. Ich hatte recht, Helge Doppler. Aber nicht jetzt, sondern 1986. Ruf mich sofort zurück, wenn du das abhörst.
Wow.
Okay. It'll be a lot harder to hide your footsteps in the cave.
Oh my gosh. Has he been doing this many times, or is this the first time he's maybe gotten this far?
I don't know.
The idea that Helga is going to know the way through in the dark.
Yeah, and you won't.
wild.
Like, you've been down here before, but like... Oh, man.
What? A box?
Kerosene lamp, okay.
I know that's not kerosene. That's too bright.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, just...
Yeah, go to the box first. It's very smart. You'll be able to follow a bright, blinding light in the dark, you know.
Yeah.
No, okay. No, we're going.
All right.
All right.
So what do we got?
So, middle-aged Helga has Mads here.
And they'd been experimenting on him, and he had to basically get rid of the body.
Right.
So he takes it through... Right, and he was the... Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is...
Wait.
This is somebody else. Oh, is this Noah? Yeah, the hair. It's definitely Noah.
But those tattoos, that's similar to,
Oh, yeah, it's definitely him. Yeah, it's the painting. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man. Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We got so many big things introduced this episode. Lots of really cool things that are tied together. And Helga being at the center of it is really fun. I've always loved the Doppler character exploration stuff because it seems to be the most tied to like closer aspects of the truth of this whole thing. Like their oldest descendant that we know of,
being the original. From what the show's presented us, leader of the whole
of the power plant. Yeah. Helga then being now the until they come with something to show that there's some kind of splinter group operating within the power plant. The power plant's abducted kids to experiment on the time travel stuff specifically. Helga has been the dog going around doing things at the orders of a combination of a time traveler Noah, Doppler dad, you know.
Yeah. Which makes things very interesting once Doppler is not the leader of the power plant, the CEO or whatever, and then makes things, potentially puts in a new light that whole conversation that was had with the other guy. That was the dad of the original kid that went missing, right?
Yes.
And the insinuation that he was sending him out to do dirty work or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, all right, yeah, because what happens, like the Helga being the attack dog or whatever,
the kidnapper, basically.
The kidnapper, that makes sense because familial relation, and he was experimented on very clearly. So he is aware of the whole situation.
Yeah, he's been abused to the point where he's afraid of, of trying to break free of this whole thing.
Sure.
So he's trapped in his own prison of sorts of the mind and also of the heart. He then is forced to do these things. He then has the knowledge in 2019 of what's going on.
Right.
And so when he's saying, like, I have to stop him, I can change things, he's talking about Noah at the very least, but he's also potentially talking about
himself, his dad,
his father, and all this stuff. So he's desperate to hold all of the stuff that he knows in his mind, but because of the dementia, he keeps forgetting it. But if he can hold on to it, he's like, no, I can go into the past, I can change things, or I can go potentially, like, who knows where he wants to go, because we now have confirmed in this episode
that you can go into the future.
Travel into the future. Now, and Jonas specifically being the one to confirm this makes sense because Jonas has been upgraded multiple times throughout this short amount of time in the series thus far, from like main character to super main character to like ultra main
chosen
character
to chosen one
character. Exactly. And so Jonas is now in this weird place where he's about to go on the most incredibly grand journey. The story like punches you in the face and is like, he's going to go on a crazy journey. He's not going to do time undoing shenanigans, because if he does, he won't get to this point where he was able to help himself along the path, basically.
But with where he's at right now, he might be in the reluctant protagonist. All right, nope, this is all fucked. I'm burning the evidence. I'm going back home. I'm going to hug my mom, and nope. I like after all the shit I've been through.
Totally. But it's a long journey. The point that I'm making is that eventually he gets to the point where he goes into this point here.
Yeah.
And my thought with that is that he will potentially time travel again into the future to see basically like what is basically what is the reason we need to like orchestrate things a specific way?
And one of the things that's very curious about this, so he, even if because of maybe his issues with his mental state in the past and things like that, he's not entirely sure how much he believes it and whatnot.
Totally.
But he did get some pretty straightforward proof of all of it, right?
Yes.
To the point that he definitely had proof because he found Nico.
He has all kinds of proof. Yeah.
Right. But that once you have someone who has that, the time travel is something that he could do again if he wanted to.
He definitely will.
Right, because a lot of the things that we were speculating because of our lack of understanding about the time travel, we're thinking, okay, maybe it has to be done at certain times, and that's why, the drop in the ocean and all that stuff. And also, you can't go back to the future. But now that both of those things are basically nixed, you can do it in a very controlled way, pretty much whenever you want, as long as no one else is there to stop you. And you can go back to, at the very least, the present time that you came from.
Yes, at the very least.
That's wild. And that means that, yes, maybe don't mess with Mikhail specifically.
Right.
But you could take people in an excursion if you could get them to the point of, hey, I'm going to take you somewhere. And
drop them in,
it's
show them what's going on, and then drop them and go back.
Yeah, it's too crazy. You'd have to see it to believe it, and then voomp, voomp. Now, what I love here, though, is that there are certain characters that he absolutely should not do this with.
Yes.
He will not do this with Ulrich, because that's his son back there.
Yeah.
And his son needs to stay gone in order for him to exist. So you can't do this with Ulrich. Nope. But if he is able to find someone that he actually would be able to trust, which might not be many people, and I certainly hope it's not Bartosz, then, you could do that and be like, okay, now what do we do?
Right. So here's the part where this gets crazy. If you can go into the future, this is where things are getting crazy, y'all. Is that this daisy chain of potential who's related to who gets way scarier than just, you could bring your dad back and ruin your own existence. No, if you move anybody, they could do something in the future or in the past or what have you because of the full movement here.
Oh, sure.
That could start off a full daisy chain of nonsense bullshit. And then you could ruin everything.
There is a very real... decision to basically be like, no one else is going to know about this.
Yep.
And we're just going to leave it at that because I don't want anyone to have this information or ability, right?
The information, though, is separate from the way of knowing how to do it. The idea that if you know there is time travel out there, it gives you a upper hand on how you approach a lot of the mysteries that are going on in this town.
Right.
But if you don't know specifically how it's done, like you'd have to follow and stalk Jonas at a specific point in time as he goes and does it, you might be able to keep things under wraps a little bit.
Right, like if you're in an Ulrich situation, which granted he might be just about to find out that time travel is very much possible.
Oh, I think he kind of already knows.
He's following Helga. But in the stuff that we saw in the earlier parts of the episode where it's okay, how the hell does this work, right? Because this is my brother, but this is 33 years ago. And I talked to the mortician immediately, and they're like, yeah, no, that's impossible, right? We'd be able to tell, right? So he's like, okay. And then he goes around and he's talking to people and he's like, I love how it's okay, you see characters in this show of various different ages and maturity levels trying to be like, how do I tell you something you're not going to believe, right?
Right.
And I really like that they're approaching that because there are few things as frustrating as it just being the buck stops there. They wouldn't believe me, and so they don't say anything.
So they always try.
Right, and so they always try, but then you have to have them try in a way that's believable for us, the audience.
Yes.
And if it's a kid, that's a lot more easier to handle from a writing perspective than if it's a grown-ass adult, right?
Yeah.
And so the idea that he's going to different people and being like, and then it's like, no, you can't just go on hunches and stuff,
Yeah. I love the way that this show set up the very real direct connection between 86 and 2019 throughout a lot of the actions that everybody took here.
Yep.
There were a lot of little things confirmed. The Helga stuff was really cool. The hint about it being a kidnapper from the past with the candy bar wrapper that was found earlier. That was a really cool little setup thing there, showing that this does have a lot of good little rabbit trail, little breadcrumbs that you can follow in order to piece together the story before it actually gives you everything.
Right.
I will say what's kind of scary with this here is that this is a full also confirmation of 53 being a thing.
Yep.
But with the painting, with the bunker, with all the other stuff here, there's obviously the whole, hey, what's the important things that you would do if you could time travel and you had the only limitation being probably basically the strain on your mind in order to overcome the disjointed feeling of being in all these separate times. Well, you'd just have to be either a little crazy or maybe a man of faith. I'm gonna throw it out here, but I think Noah's been potentially really far back.
Okay.
And I think that what makes him so terrifying now is we know that he could go back to potentially go back to like modern times with like little pinprick points that he pushes.
Yeah, like a surgeon.
And then test to see how it affects things, you know?
Oh, yeah, right. Like, and that's not even going into the, more mundane stuff that regular people would want to do of, like, Back to the Future. Let's see who wins these different contests so you can gamble and make a bunch of money or something. You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
But just the image of him with the mops, mopping up the blood, the evidence of Mads' body being here.
Yep.
Having the 2 dates of was it the 5th and
the
9th?
No, but he wrote down 53.
Yes, he wrote down 53.
So
twice.
this is a different thing that ended up happening.
What? Why?
Well, okay, so if we assume that when he's writing down the dates, that's the current date of the time that he just came to, right?
Well, what are you talking about?
So, okay, we see him writing down dates in the chalk and stuff, right? Okay, that's pretty crazy. Also, it almost looks fresher in this area.
Right. So yes, when we see Helga coming out of the bunker, that's the 80s, right?
Right.
But yes, in here,
Noah is in 53.
Noah's in 53, right?
Right.
But what I think he's doing is he's writing something that then in 86 it will still be here.
Right, exactly. He's leaving a record.
Right.
Yeah,
And so
what the thing that you would want most if you have time travel and other people have access to it too is good bookkeeping.
Right. And so what I think this is this is the remains of the Helga scarring mutilation experiments.
Okay.
Because it's the same it's approximately around the same time of November, basically.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
When he would have been then a kid to then have the scars there. So potentially the part that might be, good to bring up is that the wallpaper room is one that might be most likely close enough to the time travel passage, underneath or around the power plant that they can then transport the kids through there.
Right, because there's given that we got a bunch of concrete and this is going to be real quick.
Yeah.
Given that we got a bunch of concrete confirmations about the rules of the time travel with the passage and things like that, you can go to the future and things like all
but
that.
You have to jump 33 years.
Right, you still have to jump 33 years, but we still had the situation where Mikhail went into the past without knowing how, and I don't think it was by crawling through a long tunnel, right? It was...
What do you mean?
So I think it's something where the passage, that is the thing that people have set up in order to have a more controlled and concrete way, pun intended, of dealing with the time travel that is there, that they're tapping into the ocean and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that is the only way that kind of shit can happen, right?
Okay. I don't want to go into that now because that's a whole thing of understanding, like whether if someone was time traveling in the caves at that moment, do other people also in the caves then jump the same direction in time or what have you?
Yeah, like you run into someone in the caves.
I'm wanting to go into
Where are you going?
I'm wanting to go into the thing that this episode chose to leave on, which is basically the 50s and showing that this is our villain.
Right.
This is basically our person that says, right now, I put this here. And this is literally what I thought the bunker was going to be used for. Is it's basically a drop point. It's I can do something here and it's a constant. Nobody's going to change or muck with it. Because anybody that would be using it is potentially already in my service. I've already bought them. I've already got them. So anybody that sees this is not a threat to the thing or what have you. Or if they do see it, I've already covered that at some point in the future. I've already figured that out.
Also, another thing that's potentially interesting about this, given that he's using chalk, that's something that
can be erased.
That's something that can be erased. It's something that just the one person can do. But it also, with the whole erase thing, there's a lack of permanence to it.
Yeah.
That almost feels like it's I'm laying the groundwork. That there is the organization that serves Noah, right? or the power plant, or that whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. And this is him doing it. Just I think they're setting up stuff for the kind of things that Noah's doing here.
Well, so I think that's why I'm actually like, I'm going specific here. I think I know what he's doing, basically, is that he's going into the past. He's going into the past from a future, either 2019 or later.
Yeah.
And he's taking the things that he knows and he's setting things up for a future or a present that he wants.
Right.
But there is so much potentially wrong with the way things are going that basically from my perspective, he is looking at this after all the muckery of time travel has already been going and stuff like that. So whether he's begetting his own future he wants to avoid or what have you or not, I don't think that's the point. I think the point is that he's experienced the I want things to go a different way than the way things are.
He has a plan.
He has a plan.
Yeah.
So he's putting things into the town's framework and being like, this is here, this is here, this is here. I will see this.
Yeah.
And people that work with me will see this, but those who don't won't know what they're looking at. They'll just be.
It's just a random picture in a hospital.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. But the casual nature with which this kind of 53 just kind of moment here is happening. No, bro's been back before. Bro probably built this bunker. Like
yeah, exactly.
Like
right.
He needed like or he orchestrated the building of the bunker.
Oh yeah, no. You go back in time and then you get some contractors and you say, oh hey, I want to build a thing here. Oh okay, cool. We'll let you know when it's done. All right, cool. It'll take about 4 months maybe, or I don't know,
12 years.
Yeah, or whatever, right? And so then it's like, all right, cool. Other people, like, which also that's crazy. The idea that you can basically put people to work for you when you're not even in that time period.
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
That's.
Well, the reason why the future travel is so important is because then you'd be able to realize the efforts immediately.
Exactly.
There wouldn't be any danger of going to the past and being stuck there. You'd actually gain the benefits of going into the past, dropping a thing there and being like, now I see the ripples and they're instant when I can travel back to the future.
Well, and if you... Now, maybe it's there's a bounds of like 100 years, 33 years and all that stuff. And so there's going to be like the 4 time periods of 53 all the way up to 52, at 2052 or something.
Oh, I 100% doubt that's going to be a thing.
But I don't think that's going to be a thing either. But if that's the case, there's no limit to how far back you could go, right? And so you could really just do like cool, suddenly my family's old money.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah. Your 1800s, your whatever.
Right.
I would say you wouldn't probably go back too far because we're in an environment where you'd still want to make sure that the caves are formed a specific way.
Right, you'd still want Winden to exist so that way, like, it doesn't get developed into some city where the caves are destroyed or something like that. Yeah.
And also, you wouldn't want to be in these times for too long.
Right.
Which, oh my gosh, if he's just the traveling preacher, basically, that just shows up every once in a while, he's got the perfect cover for it.
Yep.
Oh my God. So now it's the thing of where we want to look for basically the signs of inherited wealth. We want to look for basically the people that are super rich.
And Helga is the biggest example of that.
Helga and the Dopplers are potentially a big example of that,
and
but also
Regina,
the Tiedemans.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So odds are, since we don't have any evidence of him like seeming to like be connected to any families right now in 2019. He's either just an offshoot and we haven't brought up that connection yet,
right?
Or he's already like
now I'm just thinking okay like forget all the crazy time travel stuff. Just the quality of life things that you could do if you had access to time travel. And like Regina's situation with the hotel. Refinance on this day. Like that's where you'll hit the best, like get that lower interest rate. Keep
totally.
The hotel in business or whatever.
Totally.
To keep, a smooth, easy life going.
This is if anything where I think like things are going to be like really, really bad. And the idea of a nuclear power plant being the focal point for the town's existence is like Chekhov's bomb. Like it's like it's like the most obvious. Like they made Chernobyl jokes in the beginning. It's the most like if there was something bad in the future, it's tied to the power plant. It's something tied to like we've got all these barrels. We've
where did those go?
Where did those go?
I guess like maybe that's just something where Claudia, I believe was her name, just was like, all right, I came up with something better, and I didn't just hide them all down here or whatever.
Well, so
or it could be that that's some stuff that they cleared out,
So they either cleared out and moved it because there was the whole thing with the machinery and stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you could also do is what makes waste so terrifying is just how long it sits there. But if you keep throwing it into the future. I'm not kidding.
No, I know. No, the idea
you solved the problem of it being like.
Well, and we also had. I love the. Like.
Although you would have to do it like one barrel at a time, probably.
Oh yeah. All right, let's drag them all through the tunnel. Don't scrape it too bad.
I mean, no, but
Jonas comes through and there's just yellow scrapes everywhere. But there was something that I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Even though the moment itself is serious and it's a great reveal and all that stuff, that Helga basically got out of an interview by going to the future. Or going to the past.
No,
going to the future.
Going to the future.
Yeah. So, like, the idea that it's like, I have an engagement that I want to avoid.
Right.
I will time travel to avoid it. Like not just I won't show up.
It's the whole galaxy brain thing where you're like,
it's the
small brain is like you just say you were sick.
Right, exactly.
But large brain is you say I'm injured and I'm going to the hospital.
This is like you fake your death to win at hide and go seek. like
it's so weird that we can actually like make this joke in a very serious story, but it works. It's such a great joke.
Right, like it's just I love it, especially since Helga is very much like, from what I see, typecasted as the not exactly the most want to be around people kind of person.
He's tormented.
Oh yeah,
bro has been traumatized.
And the fact that they also brought that up in the present, where it's like we know crazy shit happened to him. Oh, by the way, in this bunker, which also is the confirmation that's probably what Noah's cleaning up.
No, that's what it is. But the thing is, they've got the times mixed up because of like. Oh wait, no! It wouldn't have been the times getting mixed up because they would have known that it would have happened to when he was a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so then it's why does he still have it? Right. And so maybe that's one of those things where maybe they even know that it was something that his dad did to him, but they don't know that it's experimentation stuff. It's just his dad was horribly abusive or something. Right. And so then it's why does he keep it? Yeah. Also, the fact that then we have all of this stuff that makes Peter Doppler.
Yes.
The husband. Yeah. That makes me a wee bit more sus of him.
Well, so I want to go out on the limb, actually, that the reason why, and I brought this up a while ago, but the reason, and we were more focused on the potential, like, kooky theory of Helga being mad, right?
Yeah.
Is that Peter became a therapist to help his dad, basically. But he said that he came to Winden in 87.
Yeah.
So what that seems like to me also was that he could have been coming to Winden to help his dad.
Oh, and then that's when he actually moved here?
Well, meaning like maybe his dad started mentally breaking down because of all the things that he was doing.
Wait, hang on. No, that's actually
from 86.
No, that's actually really interesting because in 86 he's basically a janitor / security guard at the plant that his father runs, which, hey, maybe they're just very good at not doing nepotism, but that seems a bit
No, I mentioned that, that his dad is keeping him close.
Right,
and
exactly.
keeping him in a very impotent role.
But the idea that his son was already, alive and well and all that stuff.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be in Winden. He was going about in his university or what have you, elsewhere. He's a fully grown adult and everything.
Yeah.
So what I get the vibe specifically is that, actually, that's actually another really good point. Who did Helga have Peter with?
Unknown currently.
Unknown. That's actually really, because Helga does not seem like the kind of person that would have. Maybe they just split up at some point.
Oh, that's possible.
That actually makes sense. He's at that age where he probably had a divorce or something like that.
Well, and especially if his father had that level of control over him, even still, then, yeah.
Right, but it could explain why Peter's not in Winden, is that they had a split a while ago.
Right,
she took
exactly.
the kids or what have you. But let's just go with so he comes back to Winden.
Yep.
Or not necessarily back, just he comes to Winden in 87.
Yep. The year after all the crazy shit.
The year after all the crazy shit. I think that his therapist, counselor thing there is very convenient, given that his dad is the only one in the story right now, other than Michael, aka Mikhail, who had basically mental breakdown kind of stuff there.
Yep.
And the thing that we can connect to both of those people is that they time traveled at least a lot, like probably more than a few times.
Oh yeah, and also,
but I think if you were having those kinds of time travel, kidnapping kind of stuff right there, I don't know if you'd be able to hide the effects of that from like an emotional standpoint or a mental standpoint from your son, who's a fully grown adult at the time.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Also, I just wanted to point out, there's something that seems really effed up about if Peter was potentially Michael's therapist, he knows about time travel stuff, theoretically, Michael could have told him about that at some point in a therapy session. And the idea that he could know about that shit and just be like, yep, and I'm going to watch you descend into suicide.
Yeah.
And do nothing.
Well, yeah, maybe that's more also the motivation of why he's so connected to this stuff, but he's not telling certain people.
Sure.
Is it's a dangerous thing, and he's really like trying to handle the weight of it all. But all he has potentially is Tronte. Like all he has potentially with him there is the Tronte, the guy he's meeting up with.
Right, which then it's the whole thing of, okay, but why Tronte? Because
Tronte's from that old era. Like,
well, Ulrich and Mads is dead.
Yeah. But also, like, he's like...
He was the news guy back then, right?
Right. But he's old. Like, he would be someone from the 50s era.
Right. Yeah. My mental map is measuring everything in the... At what point would they be in the Goonies crew? And it's like, what's the timeline for that?
Yeah.
He'd be a 53 Goonies.
He'd be 53 Goonies. I love that. Let's use that. That's really cool. Oh, man. But if you have all this, you have Ulrich figuring out the time stuff here.
Yep.
You've got Helga in his old age, about to go time travel again. Where does Helga go? Does Helga go, like, way back? Or can he only go 33 at once? So does he then have to travel again to go 33 again?
So
do you have to travel 33 years, go a loop, come back in, do 33 again, and do that?
I'm going to posit that it's 33 years each loop, and you could decide to skip the door the first time you see it and do another loop immediately and go another 33 years back.
Just sit in a circle and just...
Yeah. And now Ulrich, I don't know how he'll follow him in the actual tunnel. That, like, there's the outside, soft earth, okay, cool, and wind and all that stuff. Then there's cave that echoes in his silence and
everything.
Hard surfaces.
I think at that point he's just gonna grab Helga by the foot and be like, okay, bro, like, what are you doing?
Right, exactly. Oh shit. Yeah. But also at the same time, Helga freaked out when he saw him because Ulrich was being very scary, but maybe it's that whole thing of, if I know that there's time travel and, oh shit, your son got time traveled. No, I can't tell you. But the idea of having someone that's an ally, especially if you have dementia, that seems like the kind of thing you'd want.
Well, right, but that's why he's so scared that he has to move now, is that he's forgotten about this many times. And so this is the first time for him that this has ever happened.
Sure.
Because he's forgotten probably every single time that he's forgotten.
No, right.
So this is I have to go now, I have to do this, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And he has the book, he has the little coin with the red thing there.
Right.
And he's like, I cannot hesitate, run to the cave, go now, hold on to everything that I have.
I loved Ulrich's phone call to Charlotte of being like, it's not, how or whatever, it's when. Not saying time travel, but he's saying, no, 33 years ago, he did a kidnapping, right?
Right.
Like, you know, that's a fun way to be like, you got to be thinking about time stuff, but I'm not saying time travel.
Right. Also, just a small mechanical thing. Jonas' future being there, knowing that his past self would potentially do this there, kind of as a, hey, don't do this.
Yeah.
We don't, like, want to go and poke the, you know, a causal, you know, a bear in this regard here with regards to changing the past.
Although there is
these kinds of things here. So I'm excited to have the points where Jonas in his journey will encounter the points where himself from the future came back to be like, hey, go this way.
Well, and yet at the same time, having the knowledge to go back to that point makes me think that it's the yes, is he stopping something from happening? But maybe it's more likely that he's changing something that did happen.
Yes.
Which then gets really funky when you deal with the whole genesis of being born and whatnot, and, you know, how time manipulation affects things and all that stuff.
Right. So I want to basically, like, point at, we're in episode 7, y'all.
No, I know, and there's 3 seasons of this
There's
show.
3 seasons of this. There is no way that you get all this to stay at this level of what I would call, like, drip feed of info and answers and progression and all that without fully, like, like, not undermining, but that's the wrong word because it sounds negative, but, like, completely, like, upending the entire status quo, like, so many times over.
Yeah.
To the point where I am almost hesitant now to trust, like, any person at all in this town. Like, at this point.
Middles are hard to keep engaging for stories.
Yes.
Time travel is hard to write for stories.
Yeah.
We have time travel being able to go forward, which is now not even twice as hard to write. That's
It's
like so many. That's like so
infinitely
many.
hard.
So much harder to write. Having the you can't go back to the future, that fixes, or you know, or you can't, or you can only, you know, having it one way helps a lot, right? We're not doing that anymore.
No.
This is still the first season. We have potentially the main antagonist. We have people confirmed knowing about time travel now that were not time travelers at the beginning of the story.
Exactly.
You know, like, there are so many layers and stuff where this could very easily spiderweb out and be too much to handle, which I don't think the show's going to do.
Well, that could be a part of a part of the problem of, like, the way things go bad, and future Jonas is now in the past trying to solve and fix things.
And maybe that's the way that you make the middle of it very engaging, because, you know, it's the whole, well, the story can't end yet, so how do you make it exciting? If it's the, no, we so royally screwed everything
There's too
up
much things happening.
that it's just season 2 is, oh my god, damage control.
Right,
you know,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I'm already seeing the ways in which the middle of this story is just, we're fucked. Like, things are so screwed in so many ways.
And I know this is a random detail, but I did not think Noah would be that yoked. Holy shit.
No,
like,
this is the man that's killed.
No, right,
like,
yeah, exactly.
This is a man that's killed, like, 50 years ago and 50 years from now. Like, this is a guy that's like...
It's the do it yourself, you know, right?
No,
like,
this is the guy that is so high on his own, like, destiny and fate and all that, that is like,
oh yeah.
Yes, like,
no, I know.
I'm cleaning up the remains and blood of this child, and I swell with the power that I wield, and
because I am a god or whatever.
I'm chosen by God.
I get this whole thing tattooed on my back. You know, yeah.
Right. This is a small, tiny pain for the burden that I bear as this, you know, agent of time, and
which, you know. I'm just gonna say
I'm excited for his character.
I still think there's a possibility that he's Bartosz because future Jonas has the same kind of tattoo, but with a bunch of
Noah
scars.
does feel like
They
a
both
moniker.
Contacted, you know, each of them, like.
I do think it is odd that we don't have a kid walking around named Noah or something in 2019.
Well, and that's one of the
that's
best
why I
things
think
about
it's
it,
a
though,
moniker.
because it built. Yes, I think that does add to it being a moniker. It also adds to the mystery because we're like, what time period is this guy from? Mm-hmm. And 3, there's no, oh, cool. Let's just go back and got in the back of the head. You know,
I mean, No, at any point now we can go to where Jonas was a kid because we can go forward and backwards.
No, right, to where Jonas was as a kid. But the characters don't really have the information about Noah.
That's probably the part that's going to be so fun is that future Jonas probably knows all about Noah and is like, Noah, that guy, yeah, he's going around doing some stuff. I am actually in the shadows. Like Noah is like. Sure. Noah is talking to way too many people. Like Noah is a mess. He's all over. Future Jonas is like, I am the darkness. No. I am nobody. I am
okay. It's a lot easier to be Batman and take down the meticulous empire than it is to build the meticulous empire.
Oh no, you need to have shoulder and back muscles to build the empire.
Right, and definitely some kind of god complex or whatever. Right, and that's why a lot of people love the villains because hey, they've got that big mission that they're about.
Well, they are the protagonists of their own journey. They will achieve their goal by any means necessary.
And then, damn it, why did the reactionary protagonist have to come along and muck everything up?
Right.
Yeah. But the fact that they have the same tattoo.
If only Jonas had gotten into my car at that one point.
Right, exactly. That very much feels like the we once were brothers and we were both like, all right, we're gonna fix everything.
Well, that's the other thing is that Jonas is doing all this when he's around like 38 to 45. Like he's in
that potential range where he's 33 years in the future. Yeah.
No. I'm meaning that he's in that point where he's a fully realized man. He has lived a long point of life.
That's actually
he knows potentially 2 points of time.
Oh, hang on.
2 points of time travel.
No, yeah, I just realized something. And this is just like a silly math thing.
Yeah.
If you have the constant that the time machine can only go 33 years.
Yes.
Right? That's the increments that it works with, but you can use it whenever you want.
Right.
Then in order to be in a time that you were in, that you actually lived in, you would have to be an increment of 33 years younger or older than the time you were back then.
Right.
Because you can't just decide to skip and go to that time. Mm-hmm. You'd have to wait to a point or go back and then wait to a point where it was off by 33 years. Mm-hmm. Hence why the machine is still useful, which I think is very important because if you have forward time travel, then that could theoretically mess that whole thing up.
Right.
But I just find that fun.
It is really fun, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
Which also is just a way to keep the stakes up because then you do have to be meticulous about the time travel. You can't just decide I'm going to go back a second before you did and erase everything that you would have ever done.
Yeah. I will say the Helga young boy all face and
just
like side mutilated here. I want to go into this a little bit. They started the episode like this, basically saying, hey, here's Helga.
Yeah.
Here's child Helga here. Mm-hmm. He kind of wakes up in this room looking at it like, I've never been here before.
Okay.
I want to throw something out here.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a little bit odd to you, then getting the reveal at the end of the episode, again, bookends, showing Noah clearly cleaning up what was probably the mess of Kid Helga, but this is a completely different area.
Right.
So why would you torture, mutilate a kid, which I will say doesn't seem like the machine now at this point either.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to bring up because the idea of all the the story taking place in this time period and then and that's the origin point of reference for the show makes a lot of sense if it's we experimented and that's when we got to the point where we were able to do it. But if you can go back and forth between times, then that becomes a bit less stable. And so then the thing of Mads' eyes being burnt out, is that just to disfigure him so he can't be recognized? Because we're intentionally dropping off the body there because we don't want to deal with it. Well,
I think
we don't want to take risks with disposing of it, in some other style.
Yeah, what I think it also is it's world building of this is what the results of the machine being used look like.
Right.
So Helga's mutilation is not that.
Right.
This is he was attacked in like a very human way.
Well, and
he was carved. Like, it looks like someone carved a half circle multiple times around his
but then
face.
There's also his ear, which is so completely just.
Yeah, it's this mess.
That doesn't seem like someone even like some crazy abuser with some tool. That seems like crazy shit happened, but it's not the machine. It's not the eyes burnt out or whatever.
But that's my thing is that he was in the bunker when this happened.
Yeah.
He's here at this spot when this happened. So I think this is an example of time moving. Like I was put into that point where like I was dropped off here after being jumped.
Okay.
Noah then was there. Either did this or helped to do this.
Right. Came back to fix the situation.
There's a crazy potential thing where like maybe even like given that you can go backwards and forwards, that like future Helge did this to himself to try and kill himself to end his own like save himself from this whole horrible
There's also the
torture,
part of me that's wondering if like this is an accidental time event where some part of you got transported and other parts didn't.
Okay, so I'm still like cooking on my thing here.
All right.
I think he might have been saved.
Okay.
I think he potentially was either saved or at the very least got away.
That's a good point.
Because this room has nothing to distinguish when it is. This room could be any point in time.
Just probably not modern time.
No, I'm not leaning too hard into it, but what I'm basically saying is that the reason why he was mutilated, I think, was a personal character one.
Sure.
Because it doesn't make sense that it's this side of his face, that it's...
And I think I have a thing that might lead into that.
Okay, go for it.
We didn't get too close of a look at Noah's cleanup. But that seemed like something that was more than the damage that would have been done by this injury that Helge has.
Right. So
that is a grody-ass injury.
Yeah.
But like what Noah was doing seemed more like it's the someone died here.
Right, there was blood everywhere.
Like it's the we need to clean this up, right?
Right.
And that doesn't seem like it matches, right? Like kids can't lose that much blood, you know.
So I think I know. I'm still cooking here, but I think I know what it is, and you're helping kind of limit my thing here by like guiding me towards what I think this is that when Helge was talking about I can change the past and the future, I have to stop him. I thought he was talking about Noah, but what if he's talking about himself?
That's kind of what I was thinking too, because he's which also is fitting from a character arc perspective because he was being complicit with all this stuff after he had been abused or whatever.
Right. But if he, a dementia patient, goes back into the past, knows where his childhood self will be, he can mutilate himself trying to kill him so that he can end this whole thing. Noah knows this is something that he's trying to do because of being a time traveler, kills future Helge, trying to kill past Helge.
Okay.
And basically, to save him, sends him, like, to this spot to, like, hide him. To be like, we gotta, keep you closer to the power plant, to everything here.
Yeah, okay.
And then at that point, then it's people know about Helge's things at some point and are trying to kill him. So we need to keep him close. And now he's at the power plant.
And this is pure conjecture on my part.
Right.
But there is a part of it that does feel rather fitting because if you have time travel, nepotism is exactly where you go, right? That's how you get all the stuff. So if it's something where Helge was supposed to be basically a Nepo baby checkpoint in some way, either beneficiary or supplier.
You can use him to hop around his life and keep, using him the whole way through.
But then he ends up just being a random worker at the plant. Something went wrong, right? Something happened or whatever. Maybe he gets attacked or whatever. And now it's we actually, the whole, we can't pass things along maybe as directly as we once would have liked because there's someone else out there that knows about the time travel stuff and they're mucking with it.
Yeah.
And so now we have to take precautions or something. But
yeah,
I don't know.
But
this is very fun.
I think you're right in that Noah cleaning that up doesn't feel like it's where you would just have someone getting Mike Tyson, basically. Like extra bear attack Mike Tyson style. It's this was a whole ass body was there, a gallon of blood leaked out, I had to full on mop this up,
Right.
I very much think that the Helga starting this whole like series in a lot of ways with the like I have to do something, I have to go, I have to go, I have to go. That's not just the burden of somebody that knows. It's the I did stuff. And now that we know that he's the kidnapper, or at least he was one of the kidnappers, most likely the main kidnapper, but who's to say with what? Well, and who's to say with what Doppler and Tronte are doing?
Also, he said, "I can change the future."
Yes,
from 2019, he said that.
Yes,
in a moment of assumed
lucidity. Yeah.
What?
That means he's going to.
That means he's been to the future,
or
is aware of it, or whatever.
Well, okay. So here's the part here is that if he in the 80s is hopping around to different times stealing kids, or at the very least just hopping to 2019 or what have you, it might be more that if he goes back and does something drastic like killing himself, he's setting up a way in which certain dominoes don't fall. So he's like, I know it will change the future.
No, sure, yeah. If you go back and change the past, that will also change the future.
Yes.
Unless you're doing the whole split off timeline thing, right?
Which
also
we know in some ways that it's not entirely possible to be that.
Also, I gotta say, as far as villain plans and sustainability practices, this is actually pretty fantastic. Because you can't just keep grabbing kids from the same time. You can do that once, maybe twice, but then that becomes problematic. So instead, we just hop, grab a kid from another one, pull him back in time, and if you need him for experimentation, does it matter where you get the kid from? No. Although, I guess that maybe gets funky because if you can actually time travel them back, then what's the experimentation for? Because you've already figured out the time travel.
No, but, I think it's because of...
or you're just making the discovery go faster. Right? Like you're speeding the process along. At some point, someone figured out time travel. Cool. You use that to do all this stuff, drop off a bunch of kids to be experimented on. Awesome. You got an extra 20 years off of that because it gets invented. The tunnel gets built sooner or something. Although at the same time, that tunnel looks like something that was built a really long time ago. So maybe it doesn't matter when they figured out how to do it because at that point, it's just, all right, cool, Noah, your job is to go back 200 years and make sure that this tunnel gets built, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's wild.
There's a lot to get into here. I think we've gone off the deep end a little bit, but y'all...
This show does that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about other shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.